You bought an 8.5-inch TV last Black Friday. $1,299 at Costco. Delivery was free. You even got a $200 gift card. Felt like you won. Then the delivery crew showed up. 2 guys, a flight of stairs, and a stairwell that was 2 inches too narrow. Delivery fee refunded, TV returned. You had to rent a truck, hire a third person, and remove the banister at the top of the stairs to get it through. That improvised moving job cost you $340 and half a Saturday, then you mounted it. The wall stud spacing didn't match the mounting bracket you bought. New bracket, $89. Then the TV was too high. Then the viewing angle from the couch was wrong. Then you realized your soundbar was now too small for the screen and looked ridiculous sitting beneath it. And none of that has anything to do with whether the TV itself is any good. Here's the truth. The sticker price is not the cost of buying a big TV. The real cost is the sticker price, plus every decision it forces on you afterward. And those decisions add up faster than any salesperson will ever mention. We're going to walk through every single one of those hidden costs: installation, electricity, audio, furniture, lighting, content limitations, the expenses that don't appear until after the box is opened. Some of these will surprise you. One of them, the electricity cost alone, changes the math on every budget TV purchase you'll ever make. Let's get into it. The delivery and installation trap. Getting a big TV into your home costs more than the item description says. That is the first hidden cost, and it hits before you've watched a single minute of content. Standard delivery from Best Buy, Walmart, or Costco covers bringing the box to your door. That's it. For in-home delivery, meaning they bring it to the room you want, Best Buy charges $29.99 to $59.99 depending on your area. For mounting, add another $149 to $199 through their Geek Squad service. That's before any wall preparation or cable concealment. At 85 inches and above, TVs weigh between 90 and 130 pounds. Standard wall mounts rated for that weight start at $60. A full motion articulating mount, which you'll want if your seating isn't directly centered, starts at $150 and goes up to $300 for quality hardware from brands like Sanis or VideoSecu, and that assumes your wall can handle it. Concrete or brick walls require masonry anchors and a hammer drill. Drywall mounting on studs is standard, but stud spacing in older homes doesn't always cooperate with the VESA mount patterns on modern large TVs. If you hit a problem and a meaningful number of people do, you're calling a handyman. That's another $80 to $150 depending on your area. One owner on the Best Buy review page put it plainly: the TV cost $1,400. By the time I paid for delivery, mounting, a new surge protector, the HDMI cables that weren't included, and the guy I called when the mount didn't fit right, I was at $1,780. Nobody tells you that. Cable concealment is optional, but here's the reality. A beautiful 8.5-inch TV on a clean white wall with 3 cables hanging down to a power strip on the floor looks exactly like what it is, an afterthought. In-wall cable management kits run $40 to $80. Having someone do it professionally runs $150 to $250. Bottom line, budget a realistic $300 to $600 on top of the TV price for installation, mounting hardware, and cable management before you spend a single dollar on the TV itself. That number goes up if your space has any complications at all. The electricity bill nobody calculates. This is the one that surprises people most. And it changes the math on budget TV purchases significantly. TV power consumption scales directly with screen size. A 5.5-inch LED TV typically draws 80 to 100 watts. A 6.5-inch draws 100 to 130 watts. An 8.5-inch LED TV draws 180 to 250 watts. Some models draw more. The U.S. Department of Energy estimates the average American watches television 4.3 hours per day. At that usage rate, here's what the electricity math looks like annually. using the national average electricity rate of $0.16 per kilowatt hour as of 2024. A 5.5-inch TV at 90 watts, roughly $22 per year. A 6.5-inch TV at 115 watts, roughly $29 per year. An 8.5-inch TV at 220 watts, roughly $55 per year. A 9.8-inch TV at 300 watts, roughly $75 per year. That doesn't sound catastrophic, but now run it over 10 years, a reasonable TV lifespan. The 5.5-inch costs you $220 in electricity. The 8.5-inch costs you $550. The 9.8-inch costs you $750. That's $330 more in electricity over the TV's lifespan just to run the bigger screen. And that's at the current national average. If you're in California, New York, or Massachusetts, where rates run $0.24 to $0.31 per kilowatt hour, the number nearly doubles. The OLED question makes this worse. OLED TVs are more power-hungry than LED at equivalent sizes. An LG C5 OLED at 65 inches draws about 130 watts in standard use. The 8.3-inch version draws approximately 210 watts. Beautiful picture. Real electricity cost. One Amazon reviewer noticed this and did the math themselves. I bought the 8.5-inch Hisense U8N thinking I was saving money versus Sony. $799 versus $1,400. Then I looked at the energy guide sticker. The Hisense uses 285 watts. The Sony uses 190 watts. Over 5 years, that's almost $70 more in electricity. My savings are disappearing. Bottom line, look at the energy guide label before you buy any TV. The difference between an efficient model and an inefficient one at the same screen size can cost you $50 to $150 extra over 5 years. That's real money that doesn't show up in the sale price. The audio problem that costs $300 minimum to solve. Here's a cost that's almost universal with large TVs and almost never mentioned at the register. Built-in TV speakers are designed to fit within the TV's physical frame. As TVs get thinner, speaker enclosures get smaller. Smaller enclosures produce less bass, less volume, and worse audio staging. This has been true for years. It is more true now than it has ever been. Consumer Reports rates built-in TV audio as fair across the board, including on premium models from Sony and Samsung. RTings includes audio testing in their reviews and consistently scores even flagship TVs below 7 out of 10 for audio quality. The LG C5 OLED, one of the best TVs money can buy, scores a 6.7 for audio. The Samsung QN85 scores a 6.2 on a 5.5-inch TV. This is annoying but livable. On an 8.5-inch TV, it becomes obvious. You have a massive screen. The sound is thin, center-heavy, and disappears at normal listening levels. It doesn't match, and once you notice it, you cannot unnotice it. The fix is a soundbar, a good one. Not the $79 Vizio at Target that will make things marginally better and not much more. A soundbar that genuinely matches a large screen setup starts at $299 for the Yamaha Yas 209 and runs up to $699 for the Samsung HW Q800D or Sonos Arc at $899. For a home theater setup, you're looking at a soundbar plus subwoofer combination. The Sony HT, a 3000 with the matching subwoofer, runs about $800. That is more than many 6.5-inch TVs cost. One Reddit user in the home theater subreddit put it this way: I spent $1,300 on an 8.5-inch Samsung. The audio was so bad I couldn't watch movies without thinking about it. Ended up buying a Sonos Arc for $899. My total is now over $2,200 And I'm still not done because now the arc doesn't cover the whole room. And here's the part that gets overlooked. Soundbars have their own installation footprint. They need a surface to sit on or hardware to mount below the TV. They need power. They need an HDMI or optical cable. On a large TV that's wall-mounted, a dangling soundbar creates its own aesthetic problem that often costs another $50 to $100 to solve cleanly. Bottom line, budget at least $300 to $500 for audio when you buy any TV 75 inches and above. The TV's built-in speakers will not be adequate. That cost is effectively mandatory if you want the experience to match the screen. The furniture, nobody warned you about. TV consoles and entertainment centers have standard size ranges. Most of them are built around 55 to 6 5-inch TVs. When you go bigger, the math breaks. A standard entertainment center is 48 to 60 inches wide. A standard TV stand or console is 50 to 65 inches wide. An 8 5-inch TV is 75 inches wide. A 9 8-inch TV is 87 inches wide. You cannot put an 8 5-inch TV on a standard console. It overhangs the edges. It looks wrong. The weight distribution is dangerous. And if you have children or pets, the tip-over risk is significant enough that furniture makers and TV safety advocates specifically warn against it. The solution is either a full wall mount, which we already covered, or a console wide enough to support the TV. Wide-format entertainment consoles for 8 5-inch TVs start at $400 from IKEA's Besto line and run up to $1,200 to $2,000 for solid wood pieces from furniture retailers like Pottery Barn or Ethan Allen. If you're replacing a console you already own, you're also looking at a disposal problem. Furniture removal companies charge $75 to $150 to haul away old pieces. Selling it on Marketplace or Craigslist takes time and coordination. And here's the thing nobody mentions: room reconfiguration. An 8 5-inch TV on a wall changes the entire layout of the room. The seating has to move back. The coffee table position changes. Rugs, lamps, and side tables that worked perfectly with your old setup no longer fit the sightlines. Multiple owners describe spending an entire weekend moving furniture and still not being satisfied with the result. One Costco reviewer described it exactly. Got the 8 5-inch TV. Great deal. Had to buy a new console because mine wasn't wide enough. Console didn't fit through my doorway, so I had to return it and buy a different one. Moved my couch back 2 feet, which means my lamp is now behind the couch. 3 weeks later, I'm still rearranging the room. Did not expect any of this. Bottom line, if you don't already own a console or wall mount hardware rated for large format TVs, add $400 to $800 to your budget, more if you need new furniture. The room does not automatically accommodate the TV, you accommodate the room to the TV. The content problem that nobody in the store will tell you. You paid for a bigger, sharper screen. Now, you need content that can actually use it. And most of what you watch can't. True 4K content natively shot and streamed in 4K at full bitrate is a smaller category than you think. Netflix has a 4K library, but it requires their premium plan at $22.99 per month. Standard at $15.49 does not include 4K. Disney Plus includes 4K at their standard tier, but their 4K catalog is limited to select titles. Amazon Prime Video offers 4K, but buries the 4K filter in search. Cable and satellite television broadcasts in 1080i, not 4K. Not even close to 4K. If you watch cable news, cable sports, or any live programming through a cable or satellite provider, you are watching 1080i content scaled up to fill an 8 5-inch screen. The TV's processor tries to make it look better. It does not fully succeed. Standard Blu-ray is 1080p. Only 4K UHD Blu-ray discs deliver true 4K, and to play them, you need a 4K UHD Blu-ray player. Those start at $130 for the Sony UBP X700. your existing Blu-ray player will not work. Streaming compression is the hidden villain on large screens. Netflix streams 4K at 15 to 25 megabits per second. Disney Plus tops out at 40 megabits per second. Apple TV Plus is the best in the industry at up to 100 megabits per second. The difference is visible on an 8.5-inch screen in a way it never is on a 5.5-inch. Fast motion scenes show compression blocking. Dark scenes show banding artifacts. Sports show a slight softness during quick pans. You paid for a large screen to see more detail. But streaming infrastructure is the ceiling on what you can actually see. And that ceiling is lower than the TV's capability on most services you already pay for. One Best Buy reviewer hit this perfectly. Bought the 8.5-inch because I thought 4K would look incredible. Half of what I watch is still cable. The other half is Netflix. The TV upscales everything and it looks decent, but I can't say it looks dramatically better than my old 6.5-inch. The content just isn't there. Bottom line, before going large, audit what you actually watch. If most of it is cable, streaming at standard bitrates, or older content, you will not see the full benefit of a larger 4K panel. The hardware is only as good as the signal going into it. The lighting problem that costs another $100 to $400 to fix. This one is almost never discussed, but it is one of the most consistent complaints among large screen owners. Big TVs are bright. They are designed to be seen in showrooms under fluorescent lighting and in living rooms with the lights off for movie night. In a normal, mixed-use living room with ambient light, a large bright screen creates glare, reflection, and eye strain that smaller screens don't produce at the same intensity. More importantly, a large TV generates significant light output in a room. On an 8.5-inch panel, running at normal brightness settings, the screen becomes the primary light source in the room. Everything around it is darker by comparison. This creates what display engineers call the cave effect. The screen looks artificially bright relative to the surrounding environment, increasing eye strain over time. The solution is bias lighting. LED strips mounted behind the TV that raise the ambient light level around the screen and reduce the perceived contrast between the screen and the wall. It genuinely works. Rtings has covered bias lighting extensively and confirmed it reduces eye strain in controlled testing. A quality bias lighting kit, Govi's Invisual TV Backlight T2, is the most frequently recommended option, costs $40 to $80. But for an 8.5-inch TV, you need a kit specifically rated for that size, and they run $60 to $100. Installation is simple, but it's another line item you didn't anticipate. Ambient light problems are worse if your living room has windows opposite the TV. Glare on large matte finish screens is manageable. Glare on glossy or semi-glossy panels, which many premium OLEDs use, is significant. Blackout curtains run $50 to $150 per window. Roman shades, or roller blinds that actually block light, start at $80 and go up to $300 for quality products. One LG OLED owner described it this way: beautiful picture in a dark room. In the daytime, my windows reflect directly on the screen and it's almost unwatchable. I ended up buying blackout curtains for 2 windows. Then, the room felt like a cave even when the TV was off. This is not what I pictured when I spent $3,000. Bottom line, factor in $100 to $300 for lighting adjustments if you're buying 75 inches or above. Bias lighting is the minimum. Window treatment is very likely if you have direct light hitting the screen during your normal viewing hours. The total number that should change your decision. Let's put this together in one place, because nobody ever does. You're buying an 8.5-inch TV at $1,400. That's the sticker. Here's what the actual purchase looks like. Delivery and in-home placement, $60. Wall mount, full motion, quality hardware, $180. Professional mounting labor, $150. Cable concealment, $60. Soundbar at minimum adequate quality, $350. Entertainment console or furniture adjustment, $500. Blackout curtains or window treatment, $150. Bias lighting, $70. New surge protector rated for the load, $40. 4K Blu-ray player to actually use the resolution, $130. Netflix premium plan upgrade for 4K content, annually, $91 extra per year versus standard. That's $1,741 in supporting costs on top of the $1,400 TV. The real cost of your 8.5-inch TV is $3,141, and that's before a single thing goes wrong. Not every item on that list applies to every purchase. Maybe you already have a soundbar, maybe your room doesn't need new furniture. But the pattern is consistent. Large TVs generate a cascade of secondary expenses that the price tag doesn't telegraph. And the bigger the TV, the larger the cascade. One Reddit user in the Frugal Malafashion community, not even a TV community, posted this. Finally added up everything I spent around my 8.5-inch TV purchase. The TV was $1,200. Everything else came to $1,600. I could have bought a really excellent 6.5-inch Sony and had $800 left over. Lesson learned. Bottom line, the sticker price is never the real price on a large TV. Calculate your total cost of ownership before you buy. If that number, TV plus supporting costs, exceeds your actual budget, buy a smaller screen and use the remaining money to buy a better one. The 3 things you need to remember. 1. Delivery, mounting, and setup have hard costs that start at $300 and regularly reach $600. That money is spent before you watch anything. 2. Audio, lighting, and furniture are not optional upgrades on a large screen. They are corrections for problems the large screen creates. Budget for them up front. 3. The content you actually watch determines whether the big screen's resolution advantage is real. Cable subscribers and standard tier streaming subscribers are largely paying for a bigger version of the same picture, not a better one. The biggest mistake being made right now is treating the TV price as the total cost. It isn't. It's the entry fee. If you've already bought a large TV, what was the biggest surprise expense you didn't see coming? Drop it in the comments. It helps everyone who hasn't bought yet. And if you want to avoid more of these mistakes before your next electronics purchase, subscribe. There's more where this came from.